Aloha, it's Christine Pensa, and this is the Awakened Woman Self-Care Podcast. And this is episode 127, and welcome. It is the beginning of April 2021, and boy, oh boy, is it a powerful and challenging and joyful and triggering and all the things time. So welcome, and let's deepen into our sacred self-care as we move through this time. And this episode is all about dissolving the walls between us. Here we are in April 2021, and we have, for the most part, in a lot of places, been, quote, locked down once again. And that has caused even more of this, I guess, the suppression and the reaction by our beautiful bodies and beings and field, our physical presence, our emotional, our mental bodies are affected, and that really withholds a lot of our own knowing of our vaster self, our more expansive self. And so I wanted to share because there was a few things coming up, and I just had a beautiful meditation with my friend Jarmila, who I have known for many years, and she has held these beautiful Gaia meditations. Mostly they were live for many, many years, but now we're doing them online as she has moved out of the city. And they have always been, our emphasis and focus has always been Gaia and our connection to her. And this morning, I would like to share something that she shared, Jarmila, the human, shared, where she said that she was hearing the Earth, Terra and Gaia, and these are all names for our beautiful Mother Earth, different names, you could perceive them in different frequencies or dimensions or experiences or, let's say, timelines. But what she was saying this morning is she's hearing the harmonics of Earth, Terra, and Gaia coming back together as one voice. And when she said that, I was really tuned back into what I have been hearing from my own guidance all week, which is it's time to dissolve the walls between us, which begins with dissolving the walls within us. And I think I talked about it a couple of podcasts ago, where I talked about creativity and opening back up to that remembering of the purity and innocence and pristine nature of your creator self as a child, and how there wasn't a wall in the left and right hemisphere of the brain. And when we are in harmony with ourselves, what I see is that this kind of line that we've put down, the center, literally, of our brain, is something that we put down the center of a lot of things. That there is right and wrong. And that there is this tendency for that polarity, which has been part of our humanness, part of our human history, that part of ourselves that really makes us be at war with ourselves first and foremost. And as we know and as we are aware of, polarity has not ever solved anything in human history. Taking aside, being held in these programs and patterns of self-hatred, division of self, is really keeping us from this pure presence that we are, this peace, this trust, this knowing of ourselves as love, knowing of ourselves as beings who are here, who would do harm to none. And so I've talked to a number of people this week, and we have talked about this very human reaction that is happening right now because our nervous systems are on overdrive, right? Because we are in the midst of this so-called emergency. And the emergency then amplifies with these divisions and these polarities. And I want to, I'm going to share something that came up in my meditation this morning. And because I feel that it's quite beautiful and powerful, and it is about this reclaiming of ourselves in the wholeness and in our original organic selves. And so it was about, and my guides often show me in the form of kind of visual metaphors that kind of come in with a whole explanation behind it. So I'm going to try and share with you what I saw, because I think that it will be helpful. And what it was I saw a cattle drive. And I saw that the cattle, these beautiful beasts like cows, if you ever look in the eyes of a cow, they're so lovely. They have a beautiful, beautiful soul. And so the cattle, it was a beautiful scene. There was these green pastures, and but yet they were kind of being rushed through this beautiful bucolic setting. There were streams and these lovely rolling hills, and then there was one guy on a horse with a gun, and there was a couple of dogs, and they were pushing the cows forward and pushing this group forward. And suddenly there was this awareness that, whoa, wait a minute, this is not what I'm choosing, because this is driving me forward to a place that I don't want to be. And whether that's to the next field or to the abattoir, you decide what that is, but it's being rushed and pushed with this force that is not honoring the presence. And so I was shown that that is how we as humanity have really been, when our nervous systems get going, we really just get going and we're following the herd. And we are feeling like, oh, yeah, okay, I should be here. When in fact we are sovereign, free beings and individuals. And we are choosing in this moment, what is the best path for me? And that doesn't mean that those who choose to move with the herd need to be in polarity with us, or we need to be divided against them. But we need to let go. We need to let go of that, and we need to let go of agreeing to be driven or herded in places that do not feel in our highest, best interest, that do not feel in alignment with our pure presence of love, with our highest frequency, with our knowing of ourselves as beings of love. So instead of making anything or anyone wrong or different than, and therefore not good, or being distracted by a million things, let's stop in our path. Let's stop before we react and before we act, and let's take a breath. So if you're triggered, if you're feeling overwhelmed, as so many of us are, by all of the energy going on, just stop, breathe, connect back in to this, your beautiful, beautiful body, your sacred space. This is sacred self-care, coming in to your own sacred space, coming in to your sovereign space. So before you react or act, take the time, take a moment to breathe and ask yourself, how can I be with this in the most peaceful, benevolent way and still be in my sovereignty? How can I allow others to move with the herd in the way that seems and feels right in their sovereign expression, without making anyone right or wrong? How can I cease to be at war with myself so that I can dissolve the walls within me and the walls between us? Coming back into this, my original organic divine blueprint, which I've always seen. I've never seen the chakras as like a little layer cakey thing. I've always seen them as this beautiful sphere, light sphere around each of us. So however you see it, just tune into that, tune into your own body, and as this, standing on this beautiful earth, Terra, Gaia, let's breathe and let's hear this, her singing as one voice. And let's allow our nervous system, breathe and allow our nervous system to relax. and come into that space and place. And tuning into that pure presence. I'm going to do a separate meditation and put it up on the website as an offering to tune into this opening, this harmonic of Earth, Terra, Gaia, and us standing on her as one voice. And there is no polarity in that voice. There is only this beautiful freedom. And this song, which I hear as a song of love. And so before I go, I want to also, a friend of mine, beautiful Maggie, sent, in a group I'm in, sent a poem written by a Mexican woman who was also a shaman. And I think it's in perfect alignment with what we're just talking about, and how here are some in the poem, within the poem are these beautiful, tangible ways that we can tune in and step in to that beautiful song of love that the earth is singing to and with us. And it is about us being the medicine. And you've heard that many times. You are the medicine. You hold the medicine within you. And so I think this poem perfectly expresses that idea with beauty, and also very practical images. And so her name was Maria Sabina, and I'll put her link into, although I think she lived to 90 something, and she was born in the late 1800s, so she's gone. But I'll send the link for her, Maria Sabina. So the poem, You Are the Medicine. Cure yourself with the light of the sun and the rays of the moon, with the sound of the river and the waterfall, with the swaying of the sea and the fluttering of birds. Heal yourself with the mint and mint leaves, with neem and eucalyptus. Sweeten yourself with lavender, rosemary, and chamomile. Hug yourself with the cocoa bean and a touch of cinnamon. Put love in tea instead of sugar, and take it looking at the stars. Heal yourself with the kisses that the wind gives you and the hugs of the rain. Get strong with bare feet on the ground and with everything that is born from it. Get smarter every day by listening to your intuition, looking at the world with the eye of your forehead. Jump, dance, sing, so that you live happier. Heal yourself with beautiful love. And always remember, you are the medicine. By Maria Sabina. So thank you so much for listening today. Thank you for being here as medicine at this pivotal time on the earth. I love you, and with deep gratitude, thank you for sharing the podcast, sharing your light, and just being you.